Hey guys, I'm Sean from Scala Studio. So today I'm going to show you guys how I created this coronavirus, and I'm not going to show you guys how I created the whole scene, but if you guys want me to make a tutorial on how I created the whole scene, let me know in the comments below. You guys can also check my channel to see how I created this animation loop and a bunch of other animation loops as well, so make sure you guys subscribe to all that. And with that said, let's get on with the tutorial. So I'm gonna start off by selecting everything with A and deleting with X, and now with Shift A I'm gonna add a UV circle corresponding the numpad, and by selecting X-ray select mode, tap into edit mode, select the bottom half and delete with X, and now tap out of edit mode, and with RX minus 90 you can rotate the UV sphere in the X-axis 90 degrees. Hide the UV sphere for now and add a cube. Shift A, and now I'm going back to edit mode, select these two vertices and Alt M to merge them in the center, and select these two with Alt M, merge them in the center. And now I'm going to go to face select mode and select the top face and E to extrude it, and scale it down with S, and E to extrude, and G to move in the Z axis with Z. So I'm going to move it down, and with Control 2 we can add a subdivision surface modifier, or you can just go to the modifiers and select subdivision surface. Now tap into edit mode again. I'm going to add a few loop cuts over here, loop cut here, and a loop cut here. Move it to the top, and Control R, add a loop cut inside as well. Right, that looks good. And go back to face select mode with 3, or by selecting it, and delete the face with X, and select faces to delete the bottom face. And now I'm going back to vertex select mode with this button over here, or 1, and I'm gonna drag this down with G and scale it down a bit as well, and G, Z, this. Alright, now right click, shade smooth. So we have something that looks like this. I might select this loop, and by pressing G twice I can drag this down a bit as well and scale it up maybe, so it looks something like this. Alrighty, now I'm gonna tap into edit mode and select everything and rotate it in the Y axis, or Y90, and place it so that it is somewhere close to our pivot point, and place it somewhere like this. Right, so there's a reason I did it. I'll show you guys why. And now I'm gonna unhide our sphere again, and select it, right click, shade smooth, get out of X-ray select mode again, and now I'm gonna add a particle system and select hair, and in render select object and select the cube we just created and make the object rotation. As you guys can see, that's how it works. For the particle system to work in Blender, you should usually rotate your object. So that's how it usually works. I don't know why. That's how it has been in Blender, so for a long time. And now I'm gonna decrease the number to about 200 and increase the randomness, make it maybe 0.5, so we have a few random, so it looks random. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move this to a side somewhere over here. Now with Shift D I'm gonna duplicate this object and delete the particle system. Right, so we have two spheres. Now I'm gonna call this the corona virus and select the first sphere we created, and in renders tab over here deselect the show emit object, and that should do for us. Now I'm gonna hide this with edge and select the coronavirus object and tab into edit mode. Select this edge loop with Alt left click and E to extrude, scale it down, E to extrude, and GY to push it back like that, and scale it down with S. And now Control 2, you can add a subdivision surface modifier, and you can hide this for now, or else you can also add another edge loop in the middle over here, and yeah, this looks fine. I'm going to pull this out a bit. Select this edge with the face select mode, and with GY I'm going to push it forward a bit so it looks the virus stems look like they are attached to our virus. I might scale it up a bit as well with S. Alright, so that looks good. And now with Shift A I'm gonna add another cube and add the subdivision surface modifier with Control 2 and tab into edit mode, select X-ray select mode, select the bottom vertices with vertex select mode, and select the bottom vertices and scale them down so it looks something like this. And get out of extra mode and shift right click and select shade smooth. And now I'm going to add a particle system to this object. So I'm going to select that object, go to particle properties and add a particle system, a new particle system, and I'm going to make it hair. We did in the previous one, and select object and select the particle object we want, second cube, and decrease the scale down like that and select advanced. And I'm going to increase the randomness to 1 in this one, and maybe increase the scale a bit. No, that's too much. We leave it to 0.01. I'm going to move this object to a side as well. And now in velocity I'm going to increase the randomness a bit, maybe 0.1. yeah, that looks good. Alright, so this looks good for now. Now I'm gonna select everything and hide this as well, and with Shift A, add a cube, tab into edit mode, go back to extra select mode, so extra view mode, select these two vertices and E, extrude, scale down a bit, rotate, and extrude again, scale it down way more, and rotate R, rotate, rotate, and rotate, G, and G to move. And with Control 2 I'm going to add a subdivision surface modifier for that as well, and maybe I can move it a little bit more and make it look like it's a little more pointy. Scale it down, yeah. Yeah, this is good. Yep. And maybe I'm gonna rotate it a bit more and move it to a side like this and rotate it. Now I'm gonna add an empty plane axis and leave it like that. Select the cube we just created, the tooth, and now I'm gonna add an array modifier, and I'm going to deselect relative offset and select object offset and select the empty we just created, and press N and you'll get this step over here. Now I'm going to select empty, and well, before that I'm going to increase the count to about 30 and select the empty and go to Z rotation and type 360 divide by 30, and we have this. Now I'm going to select this object and right click and shade smooth. Now I'm going to create another empty with Shift A, empty, and make it a cube, scale it up, select the empty, the cross empty, and the cubes, the teeth, and now select the cube. Before that I'm going to scale it down in the Z axis a bit, okay, and move it in the Z axis a bit as well. And now select the empty and the cube, and select the cube last, select it, and with Control P I'm going to create with Control P I'm going to set the parent to object, and now we can move this empty without affecting this object over here. Now I'm going to unhide everything and select this empty over here, scale it down, and RX 90 to rotate it, and scale it down more. With G I can move it to the middle, and now I'm gonna select everything, go to the outliner and select this empty, select the cube, the empty, and duplicate with Shift D. And now I'm going to select that, the empty number 003, and push it back a bit and scale it down, so we have something that looks like this inside. Maybe drag it back a bit more and scale it up. Okay, so we have our coronavirus. Now we are going to do the shading. So the node setup for the material can be a little tricky. So for this to work, we should go to cycles, and I'm gonna select GPU, and in the feature set make sure you guys go to experimental and select our icosphere or UV sphere, and in subdivision surface we are going to delete the subdivision surface modifier and add a subdivision surface modifier again. And now make sure you guys select adaptive subdivision, right? So once you have that enabled, we are going to the shading tab. So now we are going to create a new material, and I'm going to add a waves texture. Make sure you guys enable the node wrangle add-on. Node wrangle, enable it, and now I'm going to type with Shift A and type waves texture and select it with Control Shift. We can see a preview of our render. I'm gonna hide everything else for now and hide the particle system as well. In the teeth, with these two, select this, and now we are going to press Control T and add a mapping and a texture coordinate node and plug the UV into the vector. So you guys can see this is what we have so far. And now I'm going to add a Musgrave texture. Musgrave texture and plug it over here. Also, I'm going to increase the scale of the waves texture to about 3 and the distortion to about 20 so that we have something that looks like this. So now I'm going to increase the distortion to about 20 and the detail to about 18, or maybe we can decrease it a bit, maybe 16. 18 looks good. And now I'm gonna add a math node, plug it in between these two, the Musgrave and the texture, the wave texture, and I'm gonna increase the scale to about 1 in the Musgrave texture and increase the detail to about 18 and decrease the dimensions, make it 0. Yeah, something like this. 0 looks good. And the lacunity, maybe, I don't know what to call it, but decrease it, make it something like 1.5. Yeah, 1.4 looks good. Yeah, it looks really good. So I'm gonna leave it like that. And now I'm going to subtract the map node, and now I'm gonna duplicate this with Shift D, plug it and make it multiply. And now I'm gonna duplicate this and add it in between again and make it an add node. Now I'm going to plug the multiply into the bottom socket, plug the UV into the top. Right, that looks good. So now I'm going to plug a map range node. Map range. So plug it in between the Musgrave and the viewer node and decrease the from min to about 2, minus 2, yeah, minus 2, and the max to about 5.6. Yep. So this actually works. The map range node is, I think it was introduced recently, and we can use this as a color ramp as well. So I'm going to plug a color ramp now. Shift A, color ramp, plug it in between over here, change the colors, make it something that looks like pink. Now I'm going to plug that to our base color, delete the viewer node and Control Shift. So yeah, this looks good. And now I'm going to add a bump node, bump, and plug the map range result in to the height of our bump node and plug the normal into the normal. Now Shift A, add a displacement node and plug the results to the height and the displacement of the material output node. And now in the materials tab, make sure you go to settings, and for this to work you should be in cycles rendered view and select displacement and bump. So you guys can see there's nothing over here right now, but if you switch to rendered view in cycles, you guys can see, yep, it's affecting the geometry of the mesh. So, and it looks a lot weird right now, so I'm going to decrease the scale to about 0.02 maybe. Now maybe that's too small, maybe 0.05. yeah, this looks good for now. So I'm gonna leave it like this. And also I'm gonna add a color ramp here as well. Color ramp, plug it in between the bump and the map range node. So I'm gonna drag these two a bit and plug the color to the roughness as well and the height. And you guys can see these lines look too straight, so I'm going to tap into edit mode and alt select this edge loop and R Y and rotate it a bit so that it looks like this. Now we're gonna add a few lights and see how it looks like. So I'm gonna add an area lamp with Shift A, light, area lamp, and RY90 and GX to move it into X-axis a bit. Increase the strength, maybe go to cycles and increase the strength to about 2000. Yeah, that looks good. You guys can see what the effects of our displacement map as well. I'm going to select the light again and duplicate it, Shift D, and with RZ 180 rotate it 180 degrees and move it somewhere over here. Maybe make it 3000 this time, and Shift D, duplicate it, and RZ -9, RZ90, rotate it front and make it something like 50. Front face with here and increase. I'm gonna make it rectangular and scale it. And yeah, this looks cool for me. So I'm gonna unhide everything and select the object, go to world settings, and I'm going to make the color complete black. Now with Shift A, I'm gonna add our camera. Go back to material mesh view because this is a bit slow right now. So I select this, and with Control Alt 0 place a camera, and with GY I can zoom it in a bit as well. And now I'm gonna select this and select our particle system. So now if you go to preview mode, you can see how our coronavirus looks like. And also make sure you guys put the subdivision surface modifier on top of our particle system. So that's it for the coronavirus modeling. And if you guys want me to do a full tutorial on how I created the scene in my thumbnail, let me know in the comments below. I might do a tutorial for that as well if you guys want me to do something like that. And I'll show you how I set up the scene here. So it's actually the same thing. This is the Yoda model from Beeple, and these are just some buildings, low poly buildings I just modeled, and these are all just textures, and a few windows have been extruded. And If you guys want me to do a full breakdown of the scene, let me know in the comments. So if you guys make this tutorial, tag me on your work so I can see them maybe and leave some feedback as well. So follow me on Insta. I'll be posting more of my work there before I upload tutorials, and I have a lot of videos like this in my channel, so you guys can check them out as well. And I'll be making 3 videos a week, mostly character modeling videos and animation loops like this. So on Mondays, make sure you guys catch those animation loops, and the rest of the week I'll be posting more character modeling videos. So if you guys want to learn how I created this sci-fi hallway scene, you guys can click here, and if you guys want to create more animation loops like this, you guys can click the playlist over here. So thank you guys for watching this tutorial. If you guys liked it, leave a comment and subscribe to this channel. So thank you guys, see you in the next one. Peace.